Thursday was the deadliest day of Sydney's latest outbreak, the Delta variant spreading through a dangerously under-vaccinated population. The problem started a year ago. Australia chose to rely mainly on AstraZeneca. In April, the government blamed supply shortages on the company's dispute with the EU. And domestic manufacturing and research suffered its own setbacks. Then AstraZeneca was shown to have those rare side effects, blood clotting. The government was left scrambling to order more Pfizer and Moderna, not expected to arrive until the end of the year. If all that wasn't bad enough, now the government's had to go back to the people and say, no, AstraZeneca is fine for you all. Take it all. Kevin Rudd was Australia's Prime Minister, now the President of the Asia Society Policy Institute. He joins me from the Sunshine Coast. Mr. Rudd, thank you. How much of this latest, if Australia was going to have a no COVID policy, it would only work if the vaccines were put in place so that the inevitable didn't happen, and it has happened.
I think there have been two major problems with public policy in this country, Richard. One was a failure of our national quarantine arrangements on the basis of a zero COVID approach, a lack of dedicated facilities to deal with foreigners travelling to Australia or Australians travelling home, which has meant that Delta, as in other parts of the world, has leaked out. But the second primary failure of public policy has been, as you've just suggested, and that is ordering a sufficient spread of vaccines and sufficient number of vaccines and early enough to make a material difference. Unfortunately, on the vaccine policy, it's come late. And as you just indicated in your report, vaccine hesitancy has been turbocharged by particular reports about AstraZeneca's effect on clotting.
Malcolm Turnbull, another former Prime Minister, has made it clear that he blames the government. He says the Prime Minister absolutely got it wrong. Now, sir, I know from a different political party, but having been in office in that, with all those pressures, and you know the difficulties of making those decisions, do you blame the Prime Minister for getting it wrong?
Well, Mr Turnbull, the former Prime Minister, is from the same political party as Mr Morrison. They're from the Conservative side of politics. I'm from the Labor side of politics in this country. So I'll allow Mr Turnbull to speak for himself. But ultimately, in our democracies, Richard, the buck stops with the guy or the woman at the top. And on the question of both quarantine and on vaccines, these are both, in Australia, uniquely federal responsibilities. Also, at the time, second half of last year, there were very many warnings to the government about the diversification of its vaccine supply. Bottom line is, in 2020, Australia navigated the COVID crisis like New Zealand and a number of other countries very effectively, but having, through its own virus suppression measures, got it down to virtually zero. The failure of public policy has been, as I said, on these quarantine and arrangements.
Essentially, Australia is going to be closed to the rest of the world until next year. Does that sound fair?
Well, the Prime Minister, Mr Morrison, has indicated that the return to normal in Australia, or as he says, a return to freedom, will come when we have a national vaccination rate of somewhere between 70 and 80%. Of course, this is based on the assumptions that what we are continuing to deal with by year's end is Delta. If our current vaccination rate continues as it is today through to the end of the year, then it's conceivable by that stage we begin to have a return to normality. But I think it's fair to say between August and December, it's going to be a pretty rough road.
I wanted, in your other role, your current role is with Asia Pacific, I saw the latest numbers. Malaysia, terribly high numbers. Thailand, Indonesia, the whole of Southeast Asia. Limited vaccine supply. Doesn't it, to some extent, enjoy the ability of Australia as an island to sort of put up the barriers? How worried are you that these developing countries, which showed great promise, are being put back decades?
I'm deeply concerned about that. I've spent a lot of my career with our friends in Indonesia and Malaysia and elsewhere in Southeast Asia and South Asia as well. You see, as the managing director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, has been warning for some time, we have a responsibility in terms of getting vaccines out across the developing world. That hasn't happened. There's been a failure of global leadership there. And the vaccination rates in the developing world are pitiful relative to those in the advanced economies, leaving aside the particular problem of Australia. And that doesn't worry you as a human being. One of the biggest headwinds against global economic recovery is what's happening in emerging markets, which is directly, as the IMF says, attributable to low vaccination rates as well.
Mr. Rudd, thank you for joining us, and particularly thank you for getting up. It's 5:38 where you are, so I do appreciate you getting up in the middle of the night, and I guess you can have a nice early breakfast and enjoy the beauty of the Sunshine Coast. Thank you, sir.
We're still energetic in the Antipodes.
You're already on Friday. At least your weekend's closer, and you can go down to the beach now and enjoy the sunrise. I'm grateful. Now,